What's up guys, Joust here. Today's video is more of a comparison. As you can probably tell by the cards on the screen, I wanted to do a quick show and tell sort of thing of what I consider really good game design for cards in Chronicle and really bad game design. There's two cards on the screen. See if you can tell by looking which one you think is the good game design and which one's the bad game design. Because from first glance it's not obvious, but after playing with these cards it becomes quickly visible that one of them is really skillful and one of them takes no skill at all. The skillful one is Stack of Sharks, the emerald on my left, and Fishing Trawler on the right. The sapphire is one I would say is really unskillful. First off, I should probably say why I think Stack of Sharks is so good. Its effect is for 3 gold, you pay 3 gold, and if you have less than 15 health, you double your health. So it's really a card that can have a big swing of an effect. If you're on 2 health, you're only going to go up to 4, so it's, you know, terrible there. If you're on 15 health, you're going to go all the way back up to 30, which makes it 15 health for 3 gold, which is fantastic value. And if you're on 7, 8, it's going to be equal to Romley Weaklax, so you're going to get about 7 health back for 1 extra gold. So while it doesn't seem like a strong card, it has potential if you play it the exact right turn, when you are exactly on 14, 15 health, to do a lot for the gold value, and it's something the opponent won't see coming. I think it's really good for that, and it works in a lot of decks because it's not dependent on a technique. It's dependent on your skill level of predicting when you're going to be at 15 health. So it requires you to know the deck you're facing almost better than your own deck. Because if you can think, okay, they're going to have that combo because they haven't played it yet, that's going to put me down to 14, then I'll play this. Or even thinking, that's going to put me down to 16, I'll attack into a monster that will damage me, so this gets activated. If you can play off a sequence like that, you're just going to be in such a great position because you'll completely negate the opponent's turn while making yours much better. And for that, I think it's great. It's definitely an example of what an emerald should be. Better than Romley Weaklax if you can play it right. And that's really how the cards, I feel, should improve as it goes up by gem rarity. They should have better effects, but only if you can play them correctly, which gives incentive to play the rarer cards. So that's why I think Stack of Sharks is so good. Quick mention to the name as well, which I think is the best name of the game. Stack of Sharks, of course, any RuneScape player will know, can't live without them. But the other card here is Fishing Trawler. This is being played a lot on ladder at the moment, mainly by Raptors, because its effect is for 4 gold, completely heal both legendaries. Not legendaries, legends. So you and your opponent will get fully healed. So it might seem, at first glance, this card's not better than Stack of Sharks. It looks worse because the effect is symmetrical. You and your opponent both go back up to full. But you're the one paying 4 gold for it, which seems like it's a bad idea, but the problem is this card has a real bad effect if the opponent has not taken any damage. It's got a bad effect for the opponent because you're the only person that's going to benefit from that card. If you're on 6 health and the opponent's on 30 and they've spent all of their cards getting you down to 6, you can play this card and completely negate every card the opponent's played for the entire game. And the worst part of it is there's no sort of skill to that. If you're playing a tank class, such as mainly the Raptor, but sometimes Linza, you can just play cards that get yourself down on health. The opponent's going to be playing his cards to get you down on health, and then you can just wait till you're about 10 or lower and just drop a Fishing Trawler at any point after that. You don't need to be thinking, oh, maybe 9 but not 7. There's no numbers involved. It's just if you are less than a third of your health left, it's a great time to play Fishing Trawler. And especially with Raptor loves just not attacking the opponent for the entire game, sometimes playing maybe black demons, but after Fishing Trawler. So the opponent's not going to get any effect out of the Fishing Trawler, and you're the only person that's going to get the healing. Specifically, I've been mentioning Raptor a lot with this because Raptor's the main person I've seen play it. Maybe because Raptor's 90% of the people on the ladder at the moment. But it's really better than Saradomin Brew, and it really has no right to be. Saradomin Brew, for those of you that don't know, takes the Raptor's armor and takes that armor value and gives it to you in health, plus 2 extra health. But if you've got, say, 6 health and 11 armor, this card's going to heal you for more. And if you haven't hit the opponent once, this card is going to have no bad effect to it. This is especially bad for Raptor, because Raptor has the ability to sacrifice health in respect for armor. So the Raptor can easily get him down low health, high armor, and then Fishing Trawler is live from that point onwards. If at the end of Chapter 2, the Raptor is on low health, high armor, he can play Fishing Trawler whenever he likes. He can play it Chapter 3, Chapter 4, or straight before the final showdown, and he's going to have the flexibility to play it whenever he likes, because if you do a ton of damage to the Raptor, he's still got all of that armor to soak it up, so he can keep doing whatever he wants, getting gold, fighting black demons, whatever. If you've got armor, that black demon's going to get through your armor. As long as he's got that low health, so that the Fishing Trawler's live, and armor to protect him from any attacks you've got, he basically gets free reign of when he wants to go back up to full health, and it's always going to be at the point where he'll let you hit through his armor, waste a few more cards, and then just play Fishing Trawler and lock you out of the game. And it just seems really like it's a common card that really just wants longer games, and sometimes that's good. In card games, you know, longer games aren't always a bad thing. You get to enjoy the game more, and it makes the game more unpredictable, because he might just drop a Fishing Trawler and then the game's still on. But the problem is, it's not a case of, oh, he Fishing Trawlered, I'm going to have to do more damage. It's a case of, this card locks out a complete strategy, which is, if you want to, over the course of the game, just chip down the opponent and then try and beat them before the final showdown, you can't do it while Fishing Trawler is a card. Because at any point, they might play Fishing Trawler, get rid of all of the work you've done, and go straight back up to full health. And I know there might be some comments here, it's like, oh, that only beats Ozan, and there's a big anti-Ozan movement at the moment, especially with Deadshot, which does 10 damage for 3 gold at the moment. No one likes that card. And yes, it's very good for decks to have tools against the chip down strategy, but the problem is there's way too many tools. The Chronicle guys, fantastic job on the game so far. They've set out to say, we're not going to have one-turn kills. We're not going to have any cards that you can boom, 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 kill a person in one chapter. And that's great and all, but if you're going to have that, you also don't need a card that instantly heals you up to full, and you definitely don't want the ability to play 2 of those cards in your deck. I mean, I'm not saying people should run 2 Fishing Trawlers, but just that you've got the option, so that even if the opponent gets the perfect hand, gets you down to 1 health, you Fishing Trawler up, and then gets down to 1 again, you can always play a second Fishing Trawler. So no matter how good the chip down game is going to be, you know how many times they've swung at you with a weapon, Fishing Trawler is going to make it so that the only viable class to play is going to be Raptor, because it's the only one that can tank it, play Fishing Trawler whenever he likes, and get to the final showdown. And while I'm all for longer games and people enjoying games and playing lots of different strategies, the Fishing Trawler does the opposite of that. It doesn't make games longer and allows you to play anything. It means the only decks you can play are decks that can get to the final showdown, because if both players are playing Fishing Trawler, then they're just going to spend the entire game tank up, tank up, tank up, and fight at the end. That's fine for them. But if you're not playing Fishing Trawler, if you're playing a chip down thing, such as a trying to kill them with Earth Blast and a few other effects, or Ozan trying to kill them with weapons and then shooting them with the not Deadshot, the other one, the one that does the weapon damage, or just hitting them with weapons, it's not going to work because they're all running Fishing Trawler on the ladder. There's so many raptors on the ladder that the only option becomes buy Fishing Trawlers and play Raptor, which just makes the Raptor problem that we're seeing at the moment so much worse, because why wouldn't you? Fishing Trawler is a Sapphire card, whereas Stack of Sharks is an Emerald card. Why would you play Stack of Sharks, a card that requires fine-tuning to use your skill to work out exactly when you want it and only has a very good effect, when you can play a very, very powerful effect for a Sapphire? So at the start of the beta period, which is where we're in right now, everyone's rushing Fishing Trawler and nobody's even thinking of Stack of Sharks. This isn't even on anyone's radar because Fishing Trawler is just so good at locking the game out if you want to play Raptor. And I really don't know what the solution to this is. I have a couple of solutions, but I don't know which one's the best. They could increase the cost of Fishing Trawler, but I don't really see that having much effect because it's something that you're not playing every turn. You can just sort of wait until you have the gold and then play it. So you might take a little bit more damage, but then that doesn't matter because you can just heal up with Fishing Trawler. If you made something like Stack of Sharks cost more, that would have a serious effect on it, because by the time you've got that gold, you're on lower health, you're going to heal back less, because if you've gone down from 15 to 8 while getting the gold, you've halved the amount of healing you're going to get. Fishing Trawler is always going to do maximum healing, so part them killing you between you getting the gold for the extra higher cost, that's not going to affect it. You could make it so that if you're above a certain amount of health, it's not going to heal you. So if you're above 15, it's not going to heal you. But the problem is, what number is the perfect amount to which, if you are below, then it will heal you? I mean, it does work as a countermeasure, because if you, the opponent knows once they're below 8 health, they can Fishing Trawler, then he's just going to keep you on 9. And even that would work, because then cards like the Raptor card that does damage to you and then gives you armor, you could play that, get under that specific number before you can heal, and then heal yourself up with Fishing Trawler. So that would make Fishing Trawler more skillful. I just don't know if that's going to be a good enough fix, because again, Raptor can just keep armoring up, and then once you get down to that point, then he'll play Fishing Trawler. It's just, it seems very, it's way more swingy than Stack of Sharks, but in different ways. Stack of Sharks has a big swing factor in that you can either get a really good card or a really bad card depending on when you play Stack of Sharks, because it'll either have great healing effect or bad healing effect. Fishing Trawler is swingy because as soon as you play it, no matter how low health you are, you're back in the game, and that can be good and that can be bad. And I just don't know how this card's going to turn out. It could be in a week, once everyone's playing Raptor, that they change it, but I definitely think it's a card that needs looking into at the moment. So yeah, that's been my comparison of Stack of Sharks versus Fishing Trawler. I definitely prefer Stack of Sharks, but Fishing Trawler is much, much better at the moment. So if you're not playing Raptor and you're not running Fishing Trawler in that Raptor, try testing it out, because it's pretty powerful at the moment. Oh well. I've been Joust, and thanks for watching. Bye guys.